Cheer, cheer for UCS. You do your best and we'll do the rest. Fight, fight, fight with all your might. We are the Braves and our team is white. Go, go, for our colors bright. We are so proud of the blue and the white. Score, score, score and fight some more. And we'll win this game tonight. Rip them up, tear them up, go Braves, go. Rip them up, tear them up, go Braves, go.
Before I call this meeting to order, I'd like to welcome Brother Curtis Franklin. Would you please lead us in prayer?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, God, for having us. Father, we bow before you again this day, giving you thanks for life eternal, the hope of it, Lord. Father, I just pray we embrace it and we run with it, and we experience the fullness of your grace, your love, and then share. Lord, I pray you'll abide here richly tonight. Father, I pray you guide the thoughts of these leaders that I believe are placed here on purpose, Lord. You've got a purpose and you want to use them. And Father, so I pray that they're responsive to your Spirit as it speaks to their souls. Lord, help us as people, not only in this moment, but in the many moments of life, to be aware of your presence. Father, I pray that we'll be folks like John the Baptist who are willing to decrease so that you'll increase. Father, may that be the case today and in the moments moving forward. Bless this group of leaders and those, their families, and those, Father, here who are watching, supporting, and finding their way. We pray in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. First item is Pledge of Allegiance. For everyone who stands and Cameron the flag, please come forward.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Cameron. The next item is approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? Mr. Clifton made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gatton made a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Next item is recognitions, Blue Board Change and Rank Program. Ms. Hall.
Good evening. Tonight we are so excited to be able to recognize some of our outstanding educators here within our district. If you remember back in October of 22, we partnered with Bloom Board as part of our retention efforts. And we had 36 who enrolled within Bloom Board, which allows for job-embedded professional growth and learning. And then once they complete the micro-credentials, they get a rank change. And we've actually had 3 that have completed that within about 16 to 18 months. So at this time, we would like to recognize them. And when I call your name, if you'd please come up to accept your certificate. Miss Maggie Bennett. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, we'll get your picture. Sarah Elder. And Haley Overfield. So they've already applied for their new certificates and have received their rank change beginning with the 24-25 school year. So we'll have a few more that'll graduate and complete their micro-credentials shortly. So we'll welcome and honor those soon. So congratulations.
Next item is superintendent report.
So first, I'd like to announce your new student board representative for 24-25 school year being sworn in tonight. The new superintendent will serve next year. The first student to serve a full term. and with us, and so we're looking forward to that, and wrapping up a good year with her, and then starting from us, so that'll be starting in July.
Thank you for being our first student representative.
And so the second thing for the class of 24, part of what Ms. Abby's part of, our students have actually received 1.5, they a little bit over $1.5 million in scholarships, and 230,000 that was local dollars. So I just want to thank all our local community members and schools, universities, and all the donors for the scholarships that they invested within our students. So it's a huge investment for them, and looking forward to what our students do with those dollars. So very proud that they have over $1 million in scholarships. The third thing I want to talk about, we have a church, Mount Sterling Cumberland Presbyterian Church youth group. I thought it was really nice because the youth group came up with the idea to have a classroom that they sponsor. So they're going to sponsor a classroom of $250. The teachers will write a letter explaining how they would use those dollars, and then the youth group is going to choose which teacher will receive those dollars. So I want to thank the youth group at Mount Sterling Cumberland Presbyterian Church.
This is elementary.
Elementary, so. And then the next thing I have on the agenda is I would like for Miss Amy Nelson to come up and share a little bit. I thought it'd be nice for the board to hear a little bit about our Cognia accreditation process. So I asked Miss Amy if she would share with you what they've gone through this year, so you would know as board members how our accreditation process works in the future. Thank you, Ms. Nelson.
All right, you're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
So I have with you tonight, I have for you tonight a presentation, and I'm not going to go through it slide by slide, although if I get in teacher mode, I may be tempted to do so. This is the same presentation that we shared with our Cognia review team. And a little bit of background about what a Cognia review is. Cognia is just the name of the company that did our review. We, as in the state of Kentucky, has contracted with other review boards before, but every high school has to go through an accreditation review. That is how they accept our classes into their college curriculum. There's a lot of reasons that drive and the purposes behind an accreditation. But we have one every 5 years. The purpose of the review is for an outside agency to come in and look at specific factors of education and sort of give us some pinpoints as far as what we can do for continuous improvement. So the entire model is around continuous improvement. We get to assess where we are. They assess where we are, we compare our scores, and then they give us some really good indicators and some things that we can do in moving forward. So Mr. Jackson, if you'll just kind of slip through to the next slide. We started the review with just a little information about Union County because our outside review group they're not from Union County. And they actually have some national members, so some of them are not even from Kentucky. So we wanted them to know a little bit about Union County, who we serve, the population that we represent. A couple of things that we thought were kind of neat in our first pieces of information, we're the corn capital of the state. We're also the largest room and pillar coal mine in the nation. We also have a little taste of Union County in Kroger's and Walmart's all over the nation, Jim David meets, and we also connect the world. So all of that comes from our little county in Union County, and we believe that is because our people are resilient, we're proud, we're self-driven, we're hard workers, and that represents the workforce also of who we're educating at Union County High School. So, education as the great equalizer, we wanted to go through that whenever we presented our information. And we'll just kind of keep clicking there. You guys already know this. We're a district of 3 elementary schools, middle school, high school, and there's our stats. Those are the faces of our lovely students. And we also wanted to put things that represent student leadership because that is a big focus at the high school. And we see great dividends that come from our focus on student leadership. So those are projects and things that students have led throughout last year. And those are some service projects that we have also taken on. And you guys have already heard a little bit about that with our Interact clubs and some presentations from Miss Abby. So I just wanted you guys to see that, we talk about these things, but we also showed them to our accreditation review. People enjoyed seeing what we represent in Union County. All right. And then those are the 4 factors that the accreditation team looks for. They give us a set of standards, and there's 30 in their entirety, and there's a lot of those, that they're wrapped around 4 big keys. And the big key is, the first key is culture of learning, leadership for learning, engagement of learning, and growth in learning. And when you break down those 4 large keys within those 30 standards, at the high school, we spent the year as staff and as students kind of looking through each one of those indicators and assessing where we think we are and assessing what we think our next steps are as well. We went through an array of surveys and gathered perception from parents and from stakeholders, from colleagues, from ourselves. So a lot of stakeholder voice was put into this information. And then at the end of the day, they give us their report. And we just had our exit review with them just today. So on the side there, it says, in kind of small print, but we had an index educational quality of an overall score of a 331. The average score for schools is a 253. And what that means is with Cognia being a national review board, they have national standards, they have statistically accurate, analyzed data that they're giving. So the surveys are not just my surveys of, you know, what I want to gather from my teachers. They're actually national surveys that have the probability and they have all the right statistics behind them. So after they put all of their schools together and put the numbers, you know, I was tickled that we were above a lot of the national scores as far as their overall ratings go. And that was able to give them, they were able to give us some really good next steps for continuous growth and continuous improvement. So Mr. Jackson, if you'll stay there. Okay, just kind of an overall, and I will give you guys this, we can give you a copy of this. This report is definitely something you may want to take a look at. But for key 1, they give us the overall, you know, keys for being successful in culture for learning. And I'm not going to read this slide by slide, but as a staff, you know, we were able to check off where we think our strengths are and also indicate where we think our next steps are. So if you'll keep clicking, Mr. Jackson, what we found is that our culture is very strong at the high school. We live and breathe Braves Pride. We market it like it's a product, and we can see that our kids have it, they share it, and they believe in it. But it is time to apply that now to academics. So you'll see a lot of Braves Pride, like right now we have our baseball and our softball teams out playing in districts, and we're so proud of them. Now it's time to feel that Braves Pride about math or English and in our classrooms and instruction. And so, you know, that definitely was evident in our findings. Then we had to write some standards for some next steps for continuous improvement. And I just kind of put the standout words in red print there. If you see professional development, rigor, and engagement, those are going to be, that's going to be evident in each one of our findings, is that we know it's time to invest some time in professionally developing our teachers, and rigor in our classrooms, some standards-based instruction, and some strategies to increase student engagement in our classrooms. And we'll just kind of keep kicking there for the next key. So key 2 is leadership for learning. And there's Mr. Watkins and his classic Corvette photo right there. Again, the same process. We kind of went through and identified where we think our strengths are and where we think our opportunities for improvement lay. And then if we can keep clicking. And we do think that a lot of leadership for learning and leading the learning that happens in your classrooms has to focus around having teachers and having us in the right places. You know, being where you're designed to be, where your passions can show. So if you will click to the next screen, and one more, sorry. All right. Again, that has to do with about raising expectations in the classroom and rigor and engagement. And we'll keep kicking, sorry. Okay. Key 3 is engagement of learning. So being engaged with our learners, being engaged in the learning environment. And what we found here is that, again, we need a little additional professional development in those strategies to get students engaged in the classroom. Demonstrations of learning, not just a test, not just a pencil paper test, but ways where they can demonstrate what it is that they've learned for you guys. All right, keep kicking here. And we'll go to key 4. Key 4 is growth and learning. Again, same process. We kind of checked where we think our strengths are, identified where we think our needs are. And then we have found that what's going well for growth and learning is that students have a desire to grow, just like all of us do, but capitalizing on that. We had a lot of movement this season with our ACT prep. We had an ACT boot camp, and students were eager, interested. Parents were reaching out to us, telling us thank you for the opportunity, and just kind of opening up those opportunities for students to grow in their own learning. And we do think that one of our biggest needs here is that standards-based instruction. You know, standards change from time to time, and it's a great opportunity over the summer to focus on the standards of what it is that we're teaching and learning, and making sure that our classroom instruction mirrors what it is that the students are going to be tested over at the end of the day. And all right, so that, oh yeah, there we go. All right, so those were the clips of the presentation that we shared with our review team, and the report does it much more justice than I ever could in a quick amount of time. But do you guys have any questions? We won't get to do this again for 5 more years, and it's a lot of work, but it is a very powerful process. Okay, all right. Well, thank you. Yes, I would love it. It's really good information. I appreciated their feedback, and I really appreciated where they've pointed us in the right direction.
Get another look other than the same regular.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Let's do the confirmation and then we'll go. So as Amy mentioned, we have our parade and radioactive playing tonight in the regional tournament in Hopkinsville. Our boys are playing Hopkinsville, girls are playing Trigg. They both advanced in the regional tournament if they win tonight. And the girls play tomorrow night. That'll be the first time they play in the regional championship. Usually as far as I know, here, you know, prior to that. No, it's not
Okay,
good.
well, we don't know what to do.
Good one, Greg. The girls, if they win tonight, and they play tomorrow night, if they win regional championship, right, tomorrow night, but that's the first time this year, I know that we made regional championship. You want there? Greg, let's go out. Okay, well, as far back as I can tell, it's never happened, so. So we don't want to jinx them, but good luck for them, tonight. and
Boys
tomorrow.
should be playing right now.
What do you want?
What evening?
Just got us on.
What evening?
Is that on the agenda?
Okay, so that's our Braves and Bravettes as far as baseball, softball. Just a reminder, our track will be competing state starting on Friday. We'll have a send-off for them at 10 o'clock on Friday. That will be on graduation night, so that's when graduation is pushed back to 7, because there'll be rushing evacuated in the morning. Just trying to get back from state competition. And then, the last thing I wanted to share too, our Braves to College board, they're actually having a legacy golf tournament on June 14th at 9 o'clock in the morning at Breckenridge. If you're available, it'd be nice to support them. This is, to honor 3 of our, mentors, basically founding mentors. They started when I started 13 years ago with Braves to College, and those 3 are Rhoda Shiles, Meg Gatton, and Julie Spread. And we work really hard to obtain those dollars, to keep that scholarship going. That is a $4,000 scholarship for our students, as long as they have a 2.5 GPA, 95% attendance, and no more than this one issue versus receive $4,000 for college of choice. And so far, we've paid over $353,000 in scholarship insurance through those funds for the students. So very proud of that and excited with the students who receive those funds. So that will be June 14th, and destination. Or help get some golf teams together. I'm not golfer,
So
but.
who you contact, that's fine, no.
Jim Humphrey and, or, Tessa Golf. That's all. Thank you.
You know, it's up to your own report, I'm sure sometimes we won't get to it. I believe over the weekend, Cooper Travis was back-to-back state champion. Bowling for
Yes,
those schools.
yes.
Oh, really? That's great. He jumped to 13.
We watched him last year, it's just phenomenal to watch him.
Very proud.
It's unbelievable.
And he competes this week at state
Yes.
high school.
And he did last year. Thank you for that, sure. So
Like I
that's,
said, I'm sure we'll always.
I know, it's like you want to
That's
try
something
to-
on my.
yes, he's unbelievable watch. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next item is attendance report. Dr. Hancock.
I shared with you the month 9 and 10 report.
as well as a year comparison, how about that, from 17, 18 all the way to this current year. I think the thing that stood out to me the most was that we're not quite to that pre-COVID number, but we're getting closer. For the year, the district average was 92.71, which is the highest it's been since pre-COVID. That 19-20 year was 93.58, so we're getting close to that. And on the screen there is the month 9 and 10 report. As a district, we're at 92.83%. Our first 2 months and last 2 months of the year were our highest four. We dipped a little in the middle, so we'll know next year to focus more time on that. I think we spent a lot of time at the beginning of the year and end of the year, you know, making sure people are coming to school and finding the fun things to do. You don't want to miss field day, and you don't want to miss this and that. So I think focusing more time in the middle of the school year will help with that attendance loss.
Next is SCDM report, Union County Learning Academy presentation. Mr. Watkins.
First, I'd like to say good evening to the board and Ms. Shepherd. It's a pleasure for me to be here this afternoon, tonight. And I'd like to take this opportunity to report that UCLA has had another good year. It's been a challenge, as I'm sure most alternative schools are. But anyway, we've had a great year, and we're excited and proud about some of the things that we've done this year, as well as being able to graduate 10 of our students. I'd like to also introduce my staff is here and some people that I brought along. Miss Melissa Thomas, who's our certified teacher. We also had a certified long-term sub, Mr. Tutt, who was unable to be here tonight. And we also have a classified person, instructional assistant. That's a former student of UCLA, Ms. Lacey Jones. So we're happy to have those here tonight, as well as our current student that we brought along so he can talk to us tonight, Mr. Cameron Laval. So at this time, we got a little short PowerPoint we'd like to show. And I'll ask Ms. Melissa Thomas to come forward with that, please.
Okay, I just want to tell you a little bit of what is UCLA. It's an A5 alternative school located in Union County High School. It was established in 1998, and it supports students from grades 6 through 12. Why do we need UCLA? UCLA serves two purposes for our students. UCLA recognizes that there are students who may be better served by a different style of teaching. UCLA serves in an alternate school to recover credit or to remove barriers to learning in a traditional setting. Our staff include is Mr. Watkins, our director and lead teacher, Ms. Lacey Jones, our instructional assistant, Melissa Thomas, myself, the certified teacher, and Larry Tutt, our certified long-term substitute. In collaboration, we collaborate with Union County High School. We share the special education teacher, Ms. Brittany Britton, Frisk, Ms. Finkston, coordinator of home hospital instructions is Ms. Comier, Mr. Comier, and the school counselors. Our year this year, we've had 52 students enrolled throughout this year. Our beginning enrollment was 23. Current in-class enrollment right now is 17, and we have 25 that are virtually enrolled. Now we have completing and awaiting graduation, 10, 9 others besides our Cameron Laval that we have here today. Here is an example of our success map. This is the individual learning plan that we have for each student that feeds their transcript. A day at UCLA. A typical day at UCLA begins with a morning briefing. At this time, we remind our students of the work and behavior expectations, as well as try to encourage and inspire them to be their best as we inspire the champion within. The morning briefing includes weekly inspirational quotes, civics trivia questions to help them with their civics trivia test requirement, 3 basic expectations, which we'll do in the next slide, our daily lunch menu, upcoming activities such as field trips or activities in the school, and a behavior focus. Here's Mr. Tutt. He couldn't be here, but he's large in the charge in our screen. Our expectations that we talk about every day is respect for self and others, to follow the school rules, and we do a daily assignments of 20 assignments or more. After the morning briefing, students get started with academic work. For most of them, their work is done online through a program called Edgenuity. Edgenuity students can work at a pace that best fits his or her learning style, work on grade-appropriate topics, review foundational concepts if needed, use pre-tests to move quickly through subjects which they may already have knowledge. Edgenuity provides standard-based online curriculum through video instructions. Students can work at their own pace. At UCLA, sometimes they make us crazy, sometimes they make us laugh, some days they make us cry, some days they amaze us on how much they have accomplished. Some days they make us proud, some days they disappoint, just to wow us the next day. Every day they need us to love them and be patient with them while they learn how to process the struggles that they bring with them every day. We also like to take time each to teach some other important skills, such as weekly lessons on social skills, bi-weekly lessons on financial skills, and our civics test preparation. Now and then, we just like to take a break and have some fun. Some of these also turn out to be learning experiences. My classes really enjoyed Kahoot, and we do a civics booklet, where based on their civics questions, the more they get right, they can play games, and they enjoy that, competing with each other. Jeopardy, online scavenger hunts, chess, movies, minute to win it games, weightlifting, and volleyball. They love to challenge us on chess. The conclusion of our day, we wrap up our days with some news and rewards. As part of our daily routine, we watch CNN 10, a 10-minute news program that gives students a snapshot of current events. We follow up with questions about the segment, and then finally, the students that have stayed on task and met or exceeded expectations are recognized for their good work. We like to provide plenty of opportunities for students to take a break from the screen. One way that we have used our time away from the screen is to use the weight room under Coach John's instruction. Coach John's invited us to use the weight room during a time of one of his smaller classes. We took a field trip to the nursing homes. Our students each signed about 125 Christmas cards for nursing home patients, and we had the privilege of delivering them in person. This was a great outing for our students and gave them the opportunity to show their respect and appreciate for the recipients. We got to take 3 field trips this year. We went for our first time ever to Irving Cable Construction. Our students were very proud. The getup you see them in this video, Irving Cable donated that all to them. They came back to school wearing it. They thought they were hot stuff, didn't they? They walked through the halls in it. They wore their hat for the rest of the day. Yeah, you were supposed to be. He had already graduated, so we wanted him to come back for that one. We went to Earl C. Clemens Job Corps to kind of see about the different career options there are there. And we took a trip to Little Kentucky Smokehouse, where they talked to a business owner that started out small and grew it into something big. This year, we did a small group of Applied Math and Algebra 1.
Students worked on the whiteboard with teacher until each student felt comfortable with the material. Ms. Wolf let us use her final exam that she gives her students for Algebra 1, and our students that participated all earned a B+ on the final. In addition to academic progress, we place a high priority on emotional growth. The staff of the Union County Learning Academy is aware that some students arrive at a crucial point in their life where they need a caring, structured environment to provide emotional stability while teaching responsibility, cooperation, self-control, and on-task behaviors. Each student who is accepted must learn to live in the outside world. Therefore, it is necessary for him or her to learn to cooperate with other people and to respect authority. What alternate school did for me? We're going to have our own graduate for this year speak a little bit about what it did for him. And then our own Lacey Jones is going to talk about her experience in RIDE, when it was called RIDE. Ellen, you want to come up?
So, in my experience in UCLA, before I came into UCLA, I was doing horrible attitude, just wanted bad for myself, never learned nothing. Came into UCLA, had Mr. Watkins, Miss LJ, Miss Thomas, and Mr. Tutt, all looking forward to me. Didn't do so great once I went in there. Thought I was untouched. Didn't learn nothing, didn't want to know nothing. Never thought I had anything in front of me. Well, me and Mr. Watkins, me and Miss LJ, me and Miss Thomas, me and Mr. Tutt all sat down. And I finally realized I had something in front of me. I realized they was just there for me. They didn't hate me. They just wanted me to learn something. And now I walk the line, May 31st.
Now, Miss Lacey Jones would like to talk to you about her experience.
All right. Most of everybody here knows me as Lacey Jones as a staff. I've been going by Miss LJ since I started. I was hired in 2021 for the Union County Preschool. I was working under Miss Turner. I got offered the position to work in UCLA for the 2023-2024 year. I'm a 2006 graduate of what used to be RIDE, is now UCLA. And actually started going back to college. So I'm going to give you a little background of how I got there. And maybe this will change your view on how much this actually means to some students and how they actually get success from UCLA. My essay was on a troubled student who was inspired to reach success. How things spiraled out of control for me as a troubled sophomore teen at UCHS. Had a lot of past trauma and affected me not only mentally, but physically, but also emotionally. I did not only know what to do, not only know not what to do, or what to do at all, and how to change the way I thought. I hated myself emotionally. I apologize if this gets emotional. I did not know what to do or how to change the way I thought. I hated myself as a person and saw no purpose in me. My thoughts daily at school was, did anyone notice something was wrong? Did anyone ever care or about me or my education? Starting off second semester my sophomore year at high school, there was a change. I was still failing, didn't understand why everything was how it was, and I hated life. I had so many traumas from my childhood. It was too much to bear. Some days I could not think, I didn't want to speak, and I slept through every class. I was so miserable because of my past traumas had affected me so bad. Though I was so young, traumatic, and those things were traumatically that happened to me, I normalized the different events to being okay. I was so hurt and angered and had it built up badly. At this point, I ended up seeking counseling and seeing a therapist every week. They gave me medication after finding out my diagnosis. Still struggling to deal with things. No one was expecting what would happen next. I attempted suicide and I was in a juvenile facility for observation. I almost succeeded with it. Though my family was hurt and disbelief, they hoped that it would give them all the answers. Why I was behaving like I was. I had no care about anything. I resented my parents because they thought I was acting out for no reason as a child. I was like any other child who would be after going through a lot of the things that I had. Thinking they should know something was wrong with me. A few weeks went by as I had finally been diagnosed by a doctor. After going through a series of tests and medication, I was released to go home and back to school. Upon returning back to school, my first day back at UCHS, little did I know another issue would occur. The girl I thought was my friend started walking towards me, fastly, an altercation to show off for others in the cafeteria. She gets up in my face. She's yelling, cussing with her fingers in my face and starting to say racial slurs. I could feel the fast beating pace of my heart and the heat of my blood pooling in my veins. Without thinking, I hit her as hard as I could. I heard my friends yelling for me to stop. My friend snatched me up, saying, "OJ, she's not worth it. You came back to school." The more I thought about it and went on with the blood and bullying in my veins, and the girl was in a lot of my classes. I had walked into second period home economics class. There I saw her laughing and telling all my classmates what had happened. I did not even think it instantly and went into action and hit the girl and didn't plan to stop. Some minutes go by as we're here. Here comes four teachers running through the doorway behind me to pull me from this girl. I had blacked out from pure anger. Before I knew it, I got myself expelled from school. 2 weeks went by, and when I returned back to public school, knowing I did not want to return, as the day started off, I reported to the office. I knew I had in-school suspension, only to find out that I had EPO placed against me. I could not be within 50 feet of this child. Then I asked the staff how I can attend the school anywhere near, as she will be in all my classes. The principal states there's no way that they can allow me to stay in the school with an EPO against me. Next, I was placed on homebound for schooling, where a teacher came in each week to bring me my assignments and go over them with me. Homebound was only temporarily because the program was limited time. I was only left with a few options. I could drop out of school, go to Job Corps, or go to the Job Corps Learning Academy or the alternative school called RIDE. My personal decision was to drop out of high school because I didn't want to attend any school at all. I was failing already and had no desire to even learn. My mother did not want me to quit school, but my father was tired of arguing. He told my mother to just sign the papers because I was not going to do my work anyway for the school. I was already failing. My mother was determined to find a solution, continued to argue against it every day, not wanting to go back to school. My mom had discussed with my grandparents. They were pretty much my parents. They raised me. I looked up to them very much. They were very caring and determined grandparents. They were determined to convince me to go back to school so they could see me graduate and walk my cap and gown. My parents went to a meeting with Mrs. Shepherd, the principal of the alternative school. Then I was able to meet her, and she welcomed me with a greeting smile that could light up the room. I could tell how much she not only enjoyed her job, but she was passionate and took pride in her job as a principal. She began to explain to me how a RIDE program could benefit me and how it operated. A few weeks passed, I decided to try the program out and see how it would be. The time flew fast, and I was starting my first day at alternative school. I became a little nervous knowing that I not only knew a couple of students from elementary school some years back. They started off being greeted by a couple of teachers who were taking attendance, and next we would be wanded down with a metal detector. As a shy person, I was quiet, and I didn't say much. I could feel the heat in my face turning red as the teachers introduced me to the classmates because I was easily embarrassed, hated being center of attention. As the days and weeks passed, I finally started to talk to some of the kids in my classes. Though I hated going to school, Mrs. Shepherd made sure to check on me often and touch base to see how things were working out for me. She always took pride in keeping a positive thinking mind and done her best to encourage all students in my school to strive for success. Mrs. Shepherd knew I did not like going to school, but she never gave up, encouraging me daily to do better and get good grades. First semester of my senior year, I had made so much progress. I had made up all of my credits, previous grades in high school. I had earned the privilege to drive myself to school and to co-op. I had not only earned that privilege, something none of the students was allowed to do in the past alternative schools. I would do my art classes online after school on the days I was off of work in the afternoon, or I would go to work and come back to school after school was out and do classes online, which helped me make up the classes I failed in previous grades. I had completed my classes in my senior year of high school and the alternative school early. Though I completed my senior year early, I could not leave school early because I had to wait closer to my graduation year. Since I had nothing to do, there were students struggling in classes with assignments. I would help tutor them, work with them so they could get assignments completed correctly. As it came closer to the end of semester for Christmas break, Mrs. Shepherd had gone beyond at the school board meeting and asked permission to release all 4 of us senior students that had finished our senior year early and got permission to allow us to leave at Christmas break, under the agreement that we would attend our class of 2006 graduation ceremony at the graduating date of June of 2006. Mrs. Shepherd made the biggest impact on me to get a higher education. Though it took me many years, I'm now attending college, which I just finished up, AB Honor Roll in my spring year for this 2024, and I'm in summer classes as of today. And I will be continuing and already got the scholarship for the fall. Though it took me all this time to get there, after attending UCLA, apologize. Though it took me many years, I'm now attending this college of education, working for the same alternative school, which is now called UCLA, stands for Union County Learning Academy. I've been working for the same district for Union County Public Schools as Mrs. Shepherd, same Union County Public Schools as Mrs. Shepherd since January of 21. To see myself now, how far I have come from being a troubled teen that hated school, I am proud to say that I could not be more thankful for Mrs. Shepherd enough for believing in me and pushing me forward to success. I had finally found my career path after all these years. My passion as a teacher, I am also continuing my education in college for my degrees in teaching and psychology, as well as for my master's. Thank you.
Thank Lacey and Cameron for letting y'all know why UCLA is so important to these students. Not everybody fits into that little box of a classroom. We need UCLA because their stories are not unique in my classroom. There are a lot of horror stories that a lot of your kids have not had to see or go through, and they need a lot of extra love. A lot of times they think it's just the bad kids. It's not. They've gone through a lot. They need more patience. They need more love. And at this point, we're at the end. Do we have any questions about UCLA?
Well, you mentioned the students earlier and that you you had some virtual students. What does that look like, the virtual students?
Well, they are, a lot of them, work at home. They go through a lot with theirs. I try to get, a couple of them have come in for some math help, because virtual math, I think we found out in COVID, doesn't pan out so well. So, I've got one that I want her to come in to me at the beginning of the year next year and us work on her math. We had another one that, he was in-house, went virtual, was court ordered to go virtual and came back in temporarily just to work with us a little bit, and with the SPED teachers and stuff.
They over Google Meets, for example, or those?
No, they will call in, and we talk them through it over the phone. I would like to next year do Google Meets where we have set up times that they can call in and stuff. But if they called in, they might request me. If it was math, most of the time they called in and Mr. Watkins handles the interception of that. Because like me and LJ, we're in working with the other students in the classroom. It is hard with the limited staff to take care of the virtual like we'd like to. Mr. Kamir, I think he's here today. He would like to too, but he's full of the home health ones. So it's yeah, very busy. So they do not get as much teacher support as we would like for them to. Yeah.
What we'd like to do is we check in twice a day, like you were doing the virtual program. Some students that are virtual, it's because it's court ordered, in order to know that it's still, reading their own safety of students that might not on campus. And then other times it's social anxiety, there's so much social anxiety that you can't perform yet, but we still work with them. One of the things, Dr. knows about, like the home hospital and there's a high, and we also know there's needs for those students to get their education virtually, for whatever reason it might be. We want to meet their needs, but we like to have a teacher where they're split. They split some of the workload when she come here at the home hospital, and then also the additional coaching that just with those virtual kiddos. And so we have persons that we need to do what we would love to do.
I think we still would get schools very quickly.
So it would have
Actually, with the staffing of UCLA in the budget, there's a little more hybrid position. Half of it is to help with home hospital, also the overflow virtual, and that's going to help us teachers, and also help with our ELL students as well. We're going to have a hybrid position, but it is just staffing to UCLA. That's what it is. We like to teach. More than one-on-one, because you can tell from Lacey, it's truly personalized right there. But more important, it's meeting with those students and that's where they need to look at learning like everything that's going on. Let's get that off of mind. Sometimes it might be, I'm taking a student home to check on mom because my dad had whatever, right, school, so I was going to go down, clear all that, and make the income back and focus on student management. So there's a lot of that's very personalized there, and we all know that we're used to human education, but it's more of a personalized discussion, checking on them every day, knowing their mic's on, but then with the virtual, at least once a week and like that. And sometimes there's some that are truly homesick. So we find them, and you're not being able to give them a chance, because we want them to be citizens. And we can educate to 21, so that's another thing that's really nice about alternative school. Sometimes they might run out at 18 when you're senior class, should be graduating, but you keep going, like, how is it? Going to jail hangout, and so that's what seems to go and get out, and you keep going with that. But that's what it takes to get them there, and you have to understand, you can be in your 21. And that's what I'm like, we go to 21. Because most of this is thing about even freshmen go to college, you might change your degree, degree one, but by the time you're 20, you're getting ready to get 21, you get serious, and you get into business, so after those. Here was Karen
This year, he got started this year.
Yes, so we all grow up at different times, for different reasons, but it's good to have that support, it's just provide additional support and for those students. That's what we need. We're looking forward to the vision next year, and we're, Mr. Foreman, I'm sure we'll be happy to have a little bit of everybody, because these are only, these are only home hospital teachers, and it
excited for the possibilities of next year. I'm still crying and emotional because I don't want to lose Mr. Watkins to retirement, because I've got a lot out of learning patience with him. He's very mild-mannered and patient, and that steady rock that these kids need. He's, in 15 years, I know he's changed a lot of lives. We appreciate Ms. Hancock, or Dr. Hancock. I don't know if I'll ever get used to saying that, but her support in all this. And our community, we've had, like at Christmas time, my church filled stockings for all my kids. I told them the number we had. They made little stockings for them, and you would think that these kids are, like, oh, I don't want that. I'm so bad, and I'm such a hot shot and stuff. But they got Uno cards and dice games and stuff, and loved it. They were like, this was great. We had a really good day. Yeah, didn't you, Cam? You loved your stocking. Next year, I got elf hats that we're going to fill. But yeah, that community support means a lot. So we really want to keep y'all informed so you can continue to support us. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Watkins, we want to thank you too. Mr. Watkins, we want to thank you for your years of service and all the work you do with these young men and women. We know you go out above and beyond too, so.
Okay, no problem, man.
Get in there, Karen, go.
Lacey Cameron, I just want to tell y'all, it takes a lot to get in front of anyone and to tell your story. And you guys are a role model, y'all are setting the bar, and congratulations. Just keep doing it. I'd like to see you back in 2 or 3 years and see what you're doing. There you go, there you go.
We'll be able to warm up.
I'm gonna be honest.
I'm coming back. He's back.
That's my mini me. In Woodburn. I put him under my thumb this year to make sure that their success is only, that's the one thing nobody can take from me. And always remember to shoot for it. No matter what, you'll be the only one to take.
Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Okay, next item is approval of minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Mr. Martin made a motion, have a second?
Second.
Mr. Clifton made a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Next item is approval of financial reports. Ms. Morris.
So we begin the financial report for the month of April. As you normally do with a review of our cash positions. So we began the month of April with cash reported by our balance sheet at $29.8 million. We saw a decrease in cash across all funds of $440,000, ending the month of cash reported by our balance sheet of $29,369,000. Cash reported by the bank, $29,373,000. So we had an amount of outstanding checks total $443,000. When we look at a review of activity by fund, beginning with the general fund, the month-to-date revenue for the general fund totaled $1,048,000. We received our adjusted finalized seat payment of $619,000. We reported 48,000 property tax collections, 295 in motor vehicle, 7,000 in Medicaid revenue, and $75,000 in interest income. And then I won't go through the item I think for year-to-date, but I just like to point out, so our year-to-date revenue is increased 7.4%. So if you back out the timing of local tax collections, interest income, insurance proceeds, and then our cost report settlement, offset by a change in our seat, we're at an increase of just over 1% year-to-date. Year-to-date expenditures for the fund total $14.6 million. we're at 10.4%, or just under $1.4 million. And I have a breakdown, but if you remove, of regions for the NC, but if you remove the flood-related expenses in the high school routes, year-to-date expenses are up just a little over 1%. And that's included in the, detailed financial report. Special revenue fund, Fund 2, monthly revenues for our Fund 2 total $227,000. We received $62,500 of state grants, $162,000 for federal cash requests, and we also received our quarterly payment for our United Way, local grant. So year-to-date revenue for our general fund is just under $4 million. Year-to-date expenditures total just under $3.3 million, with 86% of our grants, spent back on direct construction, or just a little over $2,850,000. District Activity Fund, Fund 21, we received $600 in transfers from School Activity Fund, and we expended $1,200. School Activity Fund, Fund 25, we'll update that in 2 months at the end of the fiscal year June. Capital Outlay, Fund 310, there's no activities to report. Our Fund 320, we transferred $150,991 from our Fund 320 to our Fund 400 for debt service payment. Construction Fund, Fund 360, we dispersed $12,600 to Markham Engineering for the municipal fire panel upgrade project. Our Fund 400 debt service fund, we received $150,991 transferred from our Fund 320. And then we also dispersed the principal and interest payment for the 2021 bond issue, that's due in June. And that was made up of $116,000 principal and $35,000 of interest. This is our final debt service payment for this fiscal year. The next bond payment will be due October 1st, next fiscal year. Our proprietary funds, continuing with service, we reported monthly receipts of $224,000. We received $7,100 in interest income. We also received $180,000, which is our monthly food service claim, and that's actually the month of March. We received annual payment of $11,500. They call it state match. It's more for like warehousing costs that's reimbursed back to the utility service program. We received $5,800 in non-reimbursable meals, $3,500 of contract meals, $1,000 in moving. Now, we also received $11,500 reimbursement for the fresh fruit and vegetable grant, and $3,600 for the LFS grant. So year-to-date expenditures are hovering about where we reported each month, so we're 32% over prior year-to-date, receiving at $1.3 million. And again, the primary difference are the equipment purchases, and we've also seen a slight increase in our food costs, but the main thing was about $121,000. Daycare, Fund 52, monthly revenue was $13,400. We reported state and local tuition payments. So that's the financial report. Also, as part of the financial report, just to give you an update, because I've just kind of been updating the board on property tax collections. So through April, and I actually received checks from the Sheriff's Department today, so this actually is updated as of May 28th received. So it looks like for our regular property tax collections, franchise tax, and delinquent property tax, we're $307,000 short from what we budgeted. So when I say what we budgeted, we set a tax rate that we generate and estimated on our revenue. So right now today, we're about $307,000 shy of that. We'll have sporadic collections between now and the month of June. But historically, those maybe total $50,000, so we maybe see about from $250,000 to $300,000 shortfall in collections. However, we still have unmined minerals and commercial water tax to collect. The commercial water tax is collected at the state level, and we receive it in 2 payments. So we also did receive the first payment, which is also today at $157,000. That we may see some upside in that, and we may not. I won't know until we actually.
Which year are they on payments for the
2022.
2022. I knew there was a plan.
Yeah. And again, we'll have another payment hopefully, expecting another $9 this month. So my hope is that, again, I don't know how collections will come in, but hopefully between $9 and the commercial watercraft will offset some of the not a collection issue by the sheriff's department. It may be that, assessments were protested at the state level, assessments are delayed, so it's not collected by local sheriff. When we receive those assessments and they set the tax rate, that's purely just an estimate. So a lot of things can change. And then once we finalize collections, you know, if we do fall short, we have to state that, and we can amount it and see that they do the latest thing that we make, but just give you an update on that.
Where are we on the project for the, new fire station stuff that,
So I believe it was the working section, we approved the bid, so we awarded the bid.
I think that actually started in the.
Yes. So also we approved the revised PG one, and then Friday I received the contract, which is also being checked with the obligation to execute the contract, and so we're still waiting on final insurance, certificate. So I actually took it from my desk, once I have those in hand, I'll have to check the signed contract and make sure that
I got hope for, what's that?
July,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's what we're shooting, right, by one of the.
Once we check our execute contract, like we have all the bid lines, and then they'll send it back to KD, and you do have to wait for KD to process that before they can actually send, the drawings that we're doing. And then also, it's ever consent, but we discussed in the working session in detail the tentative budget. So for tonight, I was gonna ask Mr. Jackson if he can pull up, I wasn't gonna take time to go back through all the slides and then tell you all, for them to take specific questions. So Mr. Jackson, this is the very last slide. So I'm just gonna present for, during our regular board meeting, just an overview of the budget. So again, our, total budget for all funds, so all of our funds include general revenues, we have a restricted special revenue, which are grants. We have restricted district activity funds, we have restricted activity funds, we have restricted capital outlay, restricted FSPK funds, and all those are either restricted for grant-related purposes or for facilities, so they're not available for general operating dollars. We have our Fund 51 food service fund, our Fund 52 daycare fund, and then our Fund 400, which is used to pay principal interest payments. So our total overall budget for all funds is $35,357,944. So that's a decrease compared to the 2024 working budget, right at $440,000. So we actually decreased the general fund budget by just under $39,000, although we have built into this a 2% raise district-wide, continued elevated educators, plus building in the guaranteed 1% set for all staff. So, also that lands us at a budgeted contingency of $1,986,000 and a contingency percentage of 5.73%. So does anyone have any specific questions?
So even if we have if that shortfall doesn't straighten itself out on taxes, they're almost gonna offset. If we didn't,
I'm sorry, you got that one more time?
with the shortfall of 307,000, I think you said in taxes right now, if that doesn't correct itself, then our budget has our 400,000, so we could be self-correcting.
Right, actually, it will reduce our contingency amount.
It's still in the budget, right? Yeah, that's true.
Right.
23.4.
Right.
Yeah, but it's gonna affect our contingency within that.
That's right. It kind of has to gain some balance.
Right, and so it'll affect our contingency going into that next year, so it's still.
So, but are there any other things we can talk about before I go back to the slides? One other slide that I will just bring back up, so, as I said, for 24-25, we have built in a guaranteed step minimum increase for our certified staff of minimum 1%. And then the increases years, some of the, I'm sorry, that's this slide number 7. Yeah, there we are. So when we took a look at our salary schedule, we follow some of the steps of 0.16%, 0.17%, so we did a guaranteed step of 1%, for our certified teachers, and then also, implemented a 2% district-wide raise, continue
statewide, salaries by 10%. And this will be the third year of the 25 elevated educators. And I think with this budget, we really positioned ourselves well to, for raises next year with increases in seats. Even with, if we have a short budget for collections, maybe we can adjust that to see growth in assessment, which kind of been indicated. If we see growth in assessments, we can probably hold our tax rate stable, but it's still generate new revenue. So we'll have more information in August, if that makes sense.
That's more into a while.
Once we get into our work, actual real work, this fall, we'll know more about it.
That's right. When, at the end of August, if we, set tax rates, and then we have our staffing finalized, our enrollment finalized, our working budget will be in the accurate picture. I think it sets us up nicely for, next year's salary.
Total salary benefits is 76%, which is huge. It's we look at that 84%. But with Esther and NP, we did eliminate those positions. So all that's cash, but y'all think we eliminate those, thank you, think so. Contingency, 5.73 is really, especially in emergencies.
And we've got a lot of variables moving forward to next year, so I like that contingency percent moving forward. A, what will collections and tax rates do? B, what do insurance renewals look like next year? Most school districts, we're kind of an anomaly in the state of Kentucky, in that our insurance renews January 1. Most school districts renew July 1st, and what they're finding is that mainstay or Liberty Mutual not renewing. If they are, the deductible is 1% of your building value. So we have building values at $55 million. And the premiums are doubling. So we don't know what we pay for insurance renewals in January. Also, they changed the CT funding formula, and so we currently pay 70% out of that grant. So hopefully, we don't expect that. And maybe that's choose option B or C. Right. So I feel like it's also, a good starting point, what I would look for.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the financial report as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Gatt made a motion, and a second. Mr. Hagan made a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Next item is approval of payment of bills. Do I have a motion to approve payment of bills?
So moved.
All right. Y'all send it. Okay. I wasn't looking at you. Mr. Clifton made a motion. Mr. Hagan made a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Next item is approval of expenses for superintendent's office. Is there any questions for Ms. Morris or Ms. Shepherd? Do I have a motion to approve the expenses for the superintendent's office? Ms. Martin made a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Gaten made a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Public comments, there weren't any. Next is revisions to policy 3.1161 and 3.2141, second reading.
So you have the draft policies, we gave you draft A and B, and so tonight we need to afford. So I'm going to make a motion to for the second reading for draft B, no discussion from my team.
What I would like to do is make a motion to postpone voting on this until the next regular meeting on June 24th, so we can look at the policies some of the other schools have on the same thing, and make a better determination on whether we want us to.
Yeah, I'd like to, I was planning to, see if we could push it back a little bit.
So, I'd like to make this on a motion to postpone to that meeting.
Okay. I have a motion on the floor and a second by Mr. Hagan to table it to the next,
So I want to table on postpone.
do you want to postpone till June
24th.
24th? So I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next item. Okay, and we went over these in depth in working session, so here I got it.
Oh, boy, you got a lot.
Number one,
No, go ahead, I can answer.
okay,
Yeah, I got a question too.
okay, you ready? Number one, acknowledgement of personnel report. Number two, travel report. Number three, request for fundraisers. Number four, trip request. Number five, leave of absences. Number six, critical shortage declaration for 2024-2025. Number seven, public school work service agreement. Number eight, tentative budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. Number nine, district salary schedule for fiscal year 2024-2025. Number 10, RSA Municipal Advisory Services Agreement. Number 11, Evansville Association for the Blind Orientation and Mobility Services Contract fiscal year 2024-2025. Number 12, award of bids for 2024-2025. Office supplies, instructional supplies, maintenance supplies, t-shirts, polos, sweatshirts, and athletic uniforms, transportation fuel. Number 13, BG5 for BG23-420, UCHS roof emergency. Number 14, fidelity bond for board treasurer, KRS 160.560, 702 KAR 3080. Number 15, acceptance of design development phase documents, BG 23-171, vocational school renovation. Number 16, revised BG 1, BG 23-171, vocational school renovation. Number 17, owner acceptance of KU's proposed option C related to BG 23-171, vocational school renovation. Number 18, owner approval for KU to order transformers related to BG 23-171, vocational school renovations. Number 19, owner approval for KU to inform communication companies leasing transmission poles related to BG 23-171, vocational school renovation. Number 20, acceptance of UES grant 2024 Snapdragon Book Foundation. Number 21, renewal of SFY cyber insurance policy. Number 22, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center MOU for fiscal year 2024-2025. Number 23, Kentucky ASAP MOA for fiscal year 2024-2025. Number 24, PD stipend $360, Math Achievement Fund Grant Training MES. Number 5, renewal of student accident insurance for fiscal year 2024-2025. Number 26, Health Force Kentucky MOA for fiscal year 2024-25. And number 27, Audubon Area Head Start MOA for contract rules. Do I have a motion to approve 1 through 27 as read?
Any other question on that? Yes, question there?
My question is,
I do have one.
Okay.
First of all, on the tentative budget for fiscal year 24-25, Ms. Morris, I have a few questions for her about our proposed salary. Would compare with surrounding districts and other districts, and she went above and beyond to
the documents to the board to approve. And once you approve those, then we'll go out to bid. So you'll be fully aware of,
That way we know what the real costs are of each of these applicants and then the combination.
So more questions or comments?
Motion to
But this
approve.
is,
Move to approve.
Tony made the motion and Mr. Hayes seconded. All in favor? All opposed, motion carries. Other items, Chad, did you have something?
We can, I guess I could talk to one of y'all about that policy, I just was curious, did Donnie say looking, reviewing other schools? Okay, I thought that's what you said, but I wasn't sure, yeah, that's all, I would be interested to see if that information, whoever gets that information.
I looked at some of the surrounding schools, but I haven't looked at all of them, and I would like to have kind of look at more.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just kind of, if y'all come across those before our next meeting or a work session, I'd like to view those too, so.
I'll bring it all to the working session. I mean, you guys are welcome to check too, but,
This come from you? Thank you.
Johnny, would you like to read it? Analyze and talk with the chain of command, is that what policy?
that would be fantastic if you guys could
She
do
will be
it.
able to tell us if there's any.
Because we can probably gather that information on
She
each
can
other.
tell us which districts have it, and that we go down and search, because she was saying that she will up to the 17.
That'd be awesome. That'd be a good time to do it.
We'll get that to you.
And would this be much better than I know the big schools?
We'll just save some time, she'll know who has it.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Some of it.
Mr. Gatsby, motion, I second.
All in favor?
Mr. Hagan, second.